Hi, and welcome back. In this lecture, we're going to talk about key insight 5, increasing the operational efficiency, productivity, and reducing wastage in the water management industry. Well, those things are the norm of any business operation and in any industry, and water management industry is no exception. So, real-time detection of pipe burst in water distribution networks. So, using industrial Internet of Things and other types of sensors to continuously monitor water distribution networks and trigger alerts if a burst is detected. So, a lot of advanced sensors will be incorporated to the distribution network to really understand what's happening in the ground situation and what's happening beneath the ground as well. Then we have things like automated asset condition assessment. So, real-time monitoring of the asset conditions using telemetric data. For example, like temperature, sound, vibration levels, RPM, and then comparing those telemetric values against normal operational telemetric values. So this will help us to understand if there are any anomalies and also understand the asset utilization in real time. Then we have things like predictive water treatment plants. So proactively understanding how the system would behave and then making the necessary changes to autonomously keep the values within the expected parameters. Then we have things like facilitating real-time collaboration between stakeholders. So during this whole COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdowns, all of us saw how powerful digital technologies can be in terms of supporting collaboration in remote operations. So using advanced technologies to facilitate collaboration between stakeholders from water sourcing plants to distribution plants to pumping stations and to customers. Then we have things like automated cleaning of tanks using robotics. So robotics and automation will be the norm of the future, and we can have robotics and other automation technologies to initiate cleaning of the plant facilities. So for example, if the plant is running on solar, we need to regularly clean it because whenever dust and moisture and all these conditions start gathering on the solar panel, the efficiency of the panel reduces significantly. So we need to keep those panels clean. So robotics will be a good application of that technology. Then we have things like automated scanning of water sources for pollution levels. So law enforcement authorities and other kind of environmental, regulatory and protection authorities can use robotics and drones and other kind of underwater sensors to continuously scan the water sources such as rivers and identify any potential pollutants and take legal action if necessary. So we can identify who are the people who's polluting it, if it's a company or a person, and if they are complying with any kind of industrial regulatory standards and compliance frameworks for environmental protection. So we can assess all these things and take legal action immediately. Then we have something called facilitate generative design. So generative design is basically like a design exploration process. So designers and engineers can input their design goals and objectives, and the software will try to come up with different varieties of the design and also understand the constraints. So for example, performance or spatial requirements, materials, manufacturing methods and cost constraints, and then it will give you a variety of designs that you can pick and choose from. Then we have things like automated, repetitive and mundane tasks. So we have something called robotic process automation. So it's basically a software robot. So that robot can basically perform any kind of activity on a computer screen. So things like making billing reports, sending warning letters to customers who have outstanding bill payments. So all these things can be automated using what we call RPA or robotic process automation. And finally, embedding technology to enhance training and development activities. So we can use technologies like artificial intelligence to create a personalized learning experience for each employee. And also we can use innovative tools like virtual reality, which we're going to talk about. So it's like a goggles with a display that you can see. Then there's also a similar technology called augmented reality. So that combines the digital world with the physical world that we live in. So it's like an overlay of information of the virtual world on the physical world. So that is very useful for things like employee onboarding. So rather than taking the employee and giving them 3 months of training, we can get them to start on the job right away. And then the augmented reality goggles would project the instructions and the step-by-step instructions for the new recruits. Well, those are a few key insights as far as key insight 5, increasing the operational efficiency, productivity and reducing the wastage is concerned. I'll see you on another lecture.